Well, here we go. I'm about to change. I got to rebuild my rear end in my Chevy Avalanche. The rear calipers locked up. They actually started to drag pretty bad, and that puts a lot of wear on your rear end and drivetrain when it's trying to push the truck down the road with the brakes holding. And I got new axle bearings, new calipers. I got shocks there, a new cover for the rear end, and over here is I'll show you the rear end here. This is the spider gears up inside here are all missing teeth and all worn out. The axles, they go through these tubes right here on each side, and what I got to do is I got to pull this apart, pull this rear end apart to pull the axles out of the axle housing and press the new bearings in, and do that part of the job. And then I got to take this all apart and rebuild it. So it looks like I got my work cut out for me today. It's going to be a fun job. Over and out. Okay, in order to pull the axles out, I need to remove the rotor. This bracket's got to come off first. So I'm going to get my 18mm socket and take the two bolts out that are back here, one at the top and one at the bottom. Then this will come out. Then I can slide the rotor off. I put these lug nuts on here just to hold this straight so it's not flopping all around while I'm trying to work. In any case, I'll be back. Okay, so these 18mm that are holding this bracket on your brake shoe or brake pad bracket is a bear, man. I gotta use this big pipe right here and put it on my ratchet. I slid it right over the end of my ratchet to break these free, and that did the trick. So I'll be back. All right, the bracket's off. There it is right there. This is the caliper brake pad bracket. And now the rotor, I already took the lug nuts off that I had holding this in place. This will slide right off. And now you'll see you'll see what the joys of living in New England and what salt does to your vehicle. If you notice, there's no backing plate here. Normally on a car you will see a shield back here. It's a round shield that sits right behind the rotor, and it keeps stuff from kicking up and getting caught behind in your brakes and stuff. Well, mine rotted away. It's the same on the other side. It's completely gone. I'm going to see if there's one available before I put all this back together. Also, my e-brakes are missing. As you they all rotted off. There used to be shoes in here that actually grip the inside of the rotor. Right here, it's like a brake drum style e-brake setup, and then your pads clamp on here to stop it, but they're gone. I have no e-brake in this truck, so that's all gone. But anyway, in order to pull this out with the axle, I have to go into the rear end and disconnect some stuff, and I'll show you what I got to do here. All right, in this rear end, there's a pin up in there. That pin needs to come out. Once I take that pin out, I'll be able to push the axle forward. You can see up in here, the little nub right there is the end of the axle. When I push that forward, there's going to be a C-clip that comes out on both sides. It's the exact same on both sides. You push it forward, you'll pull the C-clip out, and then the axle will pull out. And I'll pick up when I'm in the middle of that and show you what's going on. All right, I'm back under here. I got the rotors and brackets off, and I'm about to pull that pin. In order to pull that pin out of the rear end, you have to put it in neutral and turn the drive shaft until this bolt is in the right place to be able to get it. And you can see as it's coming around, there's a bolt right there. This bolt right here is a 5/16 or 8mm, and that's the pin that's got to come out. So I'm going to take this bolt out, and then I'm going to take that pin out. All right, this bolt is loose. That's the bolt. Now this pin right here, if I turn the axle some more, the drive shaft rather, some more, I can get this in a position to take that out, where I could reach around the top and push it out. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do while I'm holding my phone. You can see it coming out, and there it is. Okay, that's the bolt. Now what I got to do, now that that bolt is out, is I got to push my axles inward, and I'll be right back. Now when I push my axles in, there we go. I think I heard the C-clip fall out all by itself. We'll find out in a minute. Let's go around to this side. Go over here to this side. Oh, I should be out on that boat today, not doing this. Anyway, push this one in. Alright, it went in a little bit. Now we'll go back under there and see if those C-clips came out. I think I heard one of them fall out. In any case, I guess I didn't, but I don't want to get grease all over this phone. I'm going to turn the axle and that drive shaft again, and then I'll be back. Okay, I did hear one of them come off, okay? I can point. That's one of the C-clips right there. The other one that fits in this channel right here is missing. And if I put this magnetic light in there that I have, I should be able to pull with a magnet. Usually you can get these to come out with a magnet. Let me get a better grip. You can see I got it with my magnet now on my light. And that's a C-clip right there that holds the axle in. The other one fell out. It's in the rear end somewhere. I got to find it, but that's okay. I got to take the whole rear end apart anyway, so I'll come across it. All right, now these axles should come out like so. There's the axle. Boom. There's one axle, and the bearing is in there that I got to change. I got to use the tool to get that out. So let's go over here and pull this axle out. That's it. Alright, and there's the other axle right there. Alright, so that's the axles. I'll return. Okay, I'm back in here. Now, these spider gears usually just kind of come right out. There's one. There's the one piece. And probably gonna have to turn. Oh, there's the C-clip. I see it in there. How do you like that? Anyway, I'll get this. There's the C-clip. Here's the other C-clip. And the other gear, part of it. And there's that one. Now these two actually have to be pried off. They come off differently. They're on there, but you got to stick normally you got to stick a screwdriver in here and get these off, but they're coming right out. There's another one right there. Boom. And another one right here. There's the shim. These are important. That shim was on that side. Anyway, there are This one's not in bad shape, but these other gears are all chewed up. Here's one little, you can see, I don't know on the video if it's going to show up, but that tooth is gone. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Here we go. This is the tool that's used to pull the bearing out of the rear axle. Don't ever try to do it without this tool. And trust me, it will not be successful. This right here, these are the different size adapters to give you an idea what I hooked up here. This kind of lays down and it goes into that hole, kind of like a molly, and it flips up and then you pull it against the bearing. And this slide hammer here is gonna slide it out and bang it so that it comes out. This is the kind of stuff I've been running into all day. Here's some of my new bearing gears. This is the new bearing. This is the one I just took out. As you can see, something's going on here. Either the new one is made to take up this whole gap here from this ridge all the way out. This little ridge right here is where this old seal used to be. Bam, right in there up to that ridge, the first ridge. Then the bearing was here to the second ridge. The new bearing looks like it might be designed to go all the way into this ridge and take up this space and has a seal built onto it. But I need to make sure that's what it is before I put it on, because this is a lot of work to do to screw it up, and those bearings aren't cheap, and I want to make sure it's right before I go any further. Well, it looks like my assumption was correct. Timken has these bearings, and they are an upgrade. It's a Timken upgrade, and it's everything. It's the seal, a race, and a bearing all combined. Even though mine looks drastically different than this, I guess this is the right part for the job. You got to make sure you clean this all real good in there. You want that all nice and clean. And then what's going to happen is I'm gonna slide this in, and I'm gonna find something, because my kit that I have here does not have an installation tool with it that fits perfect on here. So I'm gonna make one out of the old bearing that's gonna line up perfect with this outer race, so it doesn't damage the seal. And I'm gonna pound it in there, and that's what I'm gonna do. We'll see what happens. All right. So anyway, getting these bearings in has been a real pain without a bearing installer tool, which I don't have one that fits these bearings. They're pretty big. So what I did was I took the slide hammer that comes with the uninstaller kit, and I took a big socket that I had and I slid it over the end and put a nut in there. This socket is the perfect diameter for the bearing. So as you can see here, if you put the socket over, it lines up perfect with the diameter of the bearing. That way I'm able to slam this bearing in with the slide hammer without damaging that seal that you see in the middle. It's all part of the bearing. And this one here is just about all the way in, and that's about it. We're getting there. A little bit is supposed to stick out, but I guess that's the new design. Anyway, that's where I'm at. It's getting dark. I'm getting tired. Over and out.